Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Sage Canaday before Transvulcania. How are you doing, Sage?
Awesome. Really excited to be here.
It's early in the year, but you're crushing things. You got the course record down at Bandera, course record at Sonoma. You had a race in between there, didn't you?
Tarawera?
Tarawera, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And so, early season, you're, I'd have to say, the top ultra runner in the world so far this year, given the what races you've done, the competition.
For what people have been racing so far.
Yeah, obviously some of the people have been doing schemo, yeah.
Exactly.
But how does that have you feel coming into here, you know?
I mean, I like racing, so it's kind of like part of my personality. I always wanted to race more, even on the marathon road racing scene. I wanted to race more and travel more. So I am used to competing all year round because in college we had cross country in the fall, then indoor track you burned it hot, and then outdoor track you had to compete too. So I don't see as the season really ending or starting, but I'll eventually get tired out and if I have too much on my plate. So I'm kind of worried about that, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm also just excited because it's a totally different type of racing, and international competition is just exciting, and just being here is awesome. So.
Yeah. Have you felt yourself worn out at all from having? Because there's a difference between running, 10Ks and running 50 miles. Have you felt any deep fatigue from that so far this year, or are you still feeling fresh?
No, not so far. I'm happy that this race is actually shorter because 100K in New Zealand, that was 9 hours. That's really long for me to be out there. And Bandera was 100K, so this one, if I'm in the 7-hour range, that sounds reasonable. There's more vertical here though, so
yeah,
there's that. But fatigue comes and goes with your training cycle. And if anything, I'm a little worried about the turnaround after Lake Sonoma because I had to take a down week and then taper for this, and I really only had a week and a half to train really hard.
Yeah, and what did you focus on in that?
Downhill. I was focusing on downhill even before Lake Sonoma because I knew those rollers would test me, and even during the race at Lake Sonoma, I was on the downhill, I was already thinking about this race too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did some pretty fast descents down Green Mountain in Boulder and Bear Peak in Boulder, and I really tried to push the pace on downhill technical, which I never do. I never have done in training, but I know here it's going to push my limit. Did you just focus on going downhill once fast, or did you do any repeats or anything like that? I didn't do any repeats. I probably should have. Sometimes I'd go up pretty fast and then go down pretty fast.
Yeah.
So I'd be kind of tired and used to that transition. But I did probably 3 fast descents down green, and I did some long runs where I ran downhill pretty fast on green and Bear. I'd double them up. So
so you back to back?
Yeah, it'd be 2 downhill stretches.
And about how much vertical, roughly?
Well, vertical gain on that run was
descent,
probably 5,000, 6,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not that much less than the total descent on the main descent.
Yeah, but it'll be really tricky here with all the rocks, and it's a different surface.
Yeah. Do you have a plan going into this? I mean, you were at Tarawera, you were made a break pretty early, whereas Lake Sonoma, you were really patient.
Yeah, I kind of learned my lesson at Tarawera. I got really excited, and about 15 miles in, I started bombing down these downhills because I was I'm in the lead, and I want to open up a gap, and I did. But it was too much too soon, and those downhills at mile 55 came back and bit me. So I definitely learned my lesson from that. Lake Sonoma, I just tried to run my own race and be patient, and it paid off there. So I'm still learning a ton from each race, and each race is so different. Sure, the learning curve for this race will be big too. So I'll probably try to work the uphills and then see what I can do on the downhills.
Yeah, I mean, knowing your strengths and weaknesses, for you to win, you kind of have to have a lead at Roque de los Machachos, right? Yeah,
for sure. Guys like Anton and Killian, obviously. Actually, probably all the runners, even Cameron and all the European runners. I'm sure they're all faster than me on downhill. I don't even like flat downhill roads,
Yeah.
So hopefully I won't trip and fall and hurt myself, because I think if you trip on these rocks, there's going to be blood all over the volcano.
Lube things up for the people behind you.
Yeah, exactly.
How about the heat? Just standing out here in the sun right now, I'm breaking a sweat.
Yeah, compared to Colorado, it's a big difference. But a lot of us are coming from winter seasons. Yeah. Killian's been skiing, and it snowed in Colorado last week. So I like the heat generally, but this is going to be pretty extreme, and I think everyone's going to be fighting dehydration. So I'm definitely going to try to stay on top of that as much as I can. I'm going to carry more than I've ever carried in terms of hydration during this race. I'll have the Ultimate Direction Best pack on.
And so you had two 20-ounce?
Two 22-ounce bottles
Okay.
up front that I'll be refilling and dunking my head in the bucket if there's one at the aid station. So.
Yeah. You've traveled internationally for an ultra now with Tarawera, but there's a bit more of a scene or more of a hubbub here with, it's like a sky running race. It's after last year turned into a real almost championship event. How are you handling that?
I think it's great. I'm excited. I see all these, I hear about how many fans there are at the top of the mountain just cheering, and all the locals, and then the whole European skyrunning series is new to me. It's like I hadn't heard of a sky race until last year. I saw your coverage of this race and I was like, man, I really want to do that. Like, that sounds awesome to have the privilege to be able to travel to such an exotic location, and just all the media and press around it is exciting to me. I like the marketing side of it and all the exposure, so it's great to follow.
If you had one person you think you'd be racing to the finish with in Los Llanos tomorrow, who's it going to be?
Killian. Yeah.
Does that excite you?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I just hope I'm even remotely close to him at that point, or I don't even know what place I'll be in. I think if I'm going to blow up, it's probably going to be before that anyway. So it could be on the downhill, and hopefully I won't get lost or fall and break a bone or something.
You practice your uphill walking at all?
I haven't. I'm horrible at power hiking. So
I assume you heard earlier, sometime this week, the stories of Dakota walking away from Andy on the final little road climb.
That's epic.
Yeah. Different than what you're used to on the track. And,
exactly.
And road scene.
Yeah. I just think it's more dramatic, and that makes it exciting. And hopefully it won't come down to that. But if it did, it'd be great.
Yeah. Well, best of luck out there and have fun.
Thank you.
Enjoy the course.
Thanks. I will.
Yep. Take care.